What impresses you about the Texas defense?
Well, they're incredibly talented, especially up front. They're long, they're fast, they're physical, and then they've always been, Texas is one of those places from a defensive back standpoint. They've been outstanding. Those guys can do everything. They change up coverage a ton, and they're not afraid to play zero. They're not afraid to play man free against some great wideouts. So they're a huge challenge. I mean, there's certainly no lack of talent when you look at them.
Mark, how would you describe your guys' run defense last month?
Not good enough. I think that's maybe the easiest way to put it. Some of it, we can, like we've talked about before, we can scheme it a little bit better. Some of it is tackling. Some of it is trying to do somebody else's job. But altogether, we need to be better. You get one extra question because I couldn't hear a word you said the other day.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was
I kept trying to ask more, and they wouldn't. I guess you only get one question.
When you guys ask your questions, like you hear something over the phone, and it's like so loud you can't understand the words.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I was like, what did you say?
In the grand scheme of things, I mean, in a general sense, a 4-3 is better to stop the run. 3-4 is better at stopping the pass or applying pass rush. Moving forward for this program, will you look at putting in a 4-3? Or are you satisfied with the 3-4?
Oh yeah, I mean it's. I don't think that in and of itself is not a huge. You can be a 3-4 team, and I mean some of the best run defenses in football history. Look at the Ravens defense several years ago. I mean that's a 3-4. Yeah, the Steelers are a 3-4. That's not necessarily the deal. It's your scheme against the opponent's scheme, and your guy against their guy in a one-on-one deal. How many guys are two-gapping? How much you move, how much you pressure. That's where kind of that stuff. I mean, when you line up in a 3-4 and you blitz one guy, it just became a 4-3. From a schematic standpoint. And so it's more the coverages that you can disguise and the looks that you can disguise that I think make it in an ideal world better.
The 3-4.
Yeah.
How happy were you to get Louis C, the lineman recruit, and get him to commit?
We cannot talk about recruiting at all.
Okay.
Appreciate the question.
You guys are coming off 4 BCS games, obviously. Motivation for a game is not a BCS game a concern at all?
I sure hope not. I mean, I hope. There's so many things to play for. You get to play another game. This will be the last game of a bunch of guys' careers. It's the last game. Last game of this team's existence. Ending with a win is always makes for a lot better off season. Helps in a lot of ways. But yeah, you always want to show up and play. And again, when you get a chance to compete against Texas, Texas is still Texas, and they are incredibly talented and can come up and get after anybody on any given Saturday.
What do you see from their rushing attack?
A couple of big tailbacks, big physical guys. I mean, Malcolm Brown is a big physical guy in his hometown, San Antonio, so he'll probably be, even that much more excited to play. But yeah, I don't think there's too many secrets of what their approach is going to be initially. For sure, they're gonna show up and make us stop them.
Do you feel like this is almost a road game?
Well, definitely. It'll definitely be a road game. Our fans will show up in force, but just purely geographically speaking, and growing up where San Antonio is, it's about an hour and something from Austin.
45 minutes.
45 minutes, okay. There you go. I mean, naturally it'll be a partisan crowd.
Did you get to talk to Mac at all about everything that he's going through over the last couple of weeks, especially?
I did. Yeah.
What did he say to you?
He was great. He's a very very classy guy. I've known a lot of guys that have worked for him and been around him, and I've met him a couple times just crossing paths. But a very very impressive guy, and just being around him, he handled all that stuff really well. And I kind of said, hey, I'm sorry for this, and he kind of said sorry for this, and we went on. Yeah.
I know you guys always want to stop the run, but is there a special emphasis on getting better at that for this game, because that's their strength?
Absolutely. I mean, that's their strength, and it's something that we haven't been as good as we need to be recently. And so when they're watching our film, they're going, okay, here it is, and so that's where we need to improve in what we can improve upon, and then attack their scheme.
What do you do schematically? I mean, you kind of knew Stanford was going to take that approach, and a couple of the other teams, you know they're going to take that approach. What do you do schematically to adjust?
Well, again, it depends. Kind of, they're different. They're obviously different from personnel and the things that they do offensively than I'm trying to think of somebody that's similar to them in our conference. They're different. It's more of a traditional two-back a lot of the times, but then they have spread elements. And McCoy's a guy that's been, streaky, but when he gets hot, he's really good. And they've got some game breakers outside. A bunch of guys that we tried to recruit from a skill player standpoint. And so again, it's doing what you do well, but then matching it with their scheme. And then you gotta tackle. You gotta, it's about pad level and leverage and getting a bunch of guys to the ball. Just like anybody else.
Kind of a common thing thrown out there is that, this is an important game because Texas is such a fertile recruiting ground. Have you ever found that a bowl game can sway a kid's
Yeah, I mean,
opinion?
some guys, yes. Other guys, sometimes you never know exactly what button you're pushing with some guys. But you want to play well. But then there's other guys that hopefully not saying about our team, but if you say I'm watching Team A and they have a huge need at this position, and you watch the game and they have a huge need at that position, you want to go then fill that role. So
you can play immediately?
some of those guys, some guys look at it differently.
Do you know how many recruits you have there?
Well, we can't host any. Being that it's a bowl game, I don't know. There'll be a bunch of guys from the Army All-American games down there that are seniors, right? Seniors going to school next year. But there'll be a ton of guys, and probably even more watching.